Alright, got some parts back in to do this. The thread chaser, it was the main thing. But both heads, the seal in this one in the back and the other one on the front, the seal was up here in the valve. So I've messed with these springs 2 or 3 times, and I've reused the seals. And I think they've got to the point to where they're not reusable no more. So I'm changing the seals out. I'm on the 4th one already, but we'll go ahead and do one real quick. This is the tool. It's the Proform tool. It works really good. It's got 2 different stud sizes in it. You got to flip this piece over, and this is adjustable. You can go down or up. I found being up is the best for what I'm doing. Now, if you're doing this on a table, it helps to stick a rag under there so the valves don't move. I don't have one under there, and I'm kind of fighting it, but I'm moving right along. So you just put it on the right stud side, 3/8 or 7/16. These are 7/16. I've already finished this one, so we'll go to the other one and do it real quick. Now, sometimes these retainers down inside here, they like to stick. So, whoops, none of these are sticking, but if they are, you can take the best thing to do is take a socket like that fits completely over that retainer on the not on the lock part or the valve stem part, but on the retainer part itself, just like that, and hit it with a hammer a few good times. Actually, if you hit it with a hammer really good, sometimes they'll just pop right out. But we ain't having been do that because I just did this not too long ago, and they're not that stuck. The car hasn't been ran, but I don't know, a handful of times since I've been in here. But now the real kicker on these heads, both of them, on both sides, they're cracked down in there. See if you can see it on this one. Yep. I mean, it must not go all the way through because it's just fine. Well, that's the casting mark. There's the crack right there. Both of them are cracked on both sides. When he bought them, they were like that. So, I don't know. They seem to work fine, but I mean, for a cheap head, these things have went above and beyond. But anyway, sidetrack. I tighten this piece, my pinky, onto this so it don't move around. I'm putting that on there. And good thing is these are color coded. These were blue, these are black. Then when you buy these, you gotta know your valve stem diameter, which 11/32 on a small block Chevy usually. And then you gotta know your valve guide. This one's like a 5.500 or something like that. Anyway, screw that all the way down on there. Back it off. Spin this around. Put that right there. Pull your handle down on it. Make sure you're centered right there. And then you take your handle right here. Now watch this one stick. The rest of them ain't stuck. What'd I tell you? Nope, there it goes. And then this will lock down. If you got this at the right height, when you push this down, it'll lock. And the best thing to do, because these things are a pain to get out, is to get a magnet. And even then, sometimes they stick on the ledge on the valve stem. Yep, like that one has. I'm going to have 2 hands to get that one off. But anyway, what these do is these are angled. And there's a groove in the valve stem. See it right there? And what happens is when that spring comes up and the retainer comes up, that little groove goes into the groove on the valve stem and it locks it in place. Pretty ingenious, if you ask me. But yeah, that groove goes in there. But sometimes you gotta force these off. Sometimes you gotta put a screwdriver up there and tap it with a hammer. Be real careful because Sometimes those go flying and don't lose them. Which I'm working in my bedroom. It is cold outside. Yeah, let me pop that one off. And voila! See, now you can see that groove better. I just pushed on it with a screwdriver and it popped off. Now we can take the pressure off of our handle. And it'll come up like so, and blah blah. We don't have to take the shims or the seat out. See, on most of these it was just pulling out, but since we're not reusing these, I'm going to gouge it with a screwdriver and pull up on it. See, it even shouldn't come off that easy, but... And where I don't have a rag down in there, you'll see the valve moves up and down. So what I've been doing on the new ones, is I've been just using Vaseline down inside the hole. If I can get one out of the box with one hand, there we go. You can oil these up too, but since I don't got no oil in my bedroom, I've just been sticking some of that Vaseline down in the hole. And now I got some Vaseline stuck down in the hole. Now they make a little sleeve that goes on here, and the reason they do is because of that groove. Because you want that to seal on the valve seal, but I don't have one of those, so I've just been carefully pushing it over that groove. There we go. Now, once you get it on there, sometimes you can push it all the way down. These are pushing right in and locking in, but what I do is I take another socket, just like that right there, which I have to take this off, and I hit it a few good times. Not hard, just a tap, tap, tap. You'll feel when it bottoms out. But I'll go ahead and do that. I can't record that and hold the camera at the same time. There we go. I took the tool off. I just took a hammer and just lightly tapped right there. And it went down some and mushroomed out a little bit on the seat. And it's not easy to pull off. Some of these other ones I pulled right off. And this one right here, it was off. It was up here. There was one like that on the other head. And I should have left that head off and did it like this, but it's not that bad to do it on the car. Actually, that tool is designed to do it with it on the car. But yeah, you just put your spring right back on just like you took it off. Put your tool back on. And this can be the tricky part, getting this all lined up when you push it down, because the better you have it lined up when you push this down, the better, easier it is to get these retainers in. Sometimes they can be a nightmare to get in there, but and screw this all the way down. All right, there we go. Spin this back. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, can you? Spin this back around. Now, what I do is put our handle back on here. Now what I do is this spring, when you push this down, the spring is going to try to go that way. So what I do is I pull this out and go down at the same time, just enough to clear that retainer on the valve stem. And then as you push it the rest of the way down, it'll kind of center itself. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll pull back on this and down at the same time, try to get it lined up the best I can. So that was about the best I could get it, and that's okay. I'm gonna reach under the head and push the valve stem back up because I knocked it down some. So what I'm gonna do, these retainers, they go in like that, right down inside there. So the beveled end goes down. So what I usually do is you can move your handle side to side and give you some room. So what I do is I pull it to the side, I stick one of them in there, and I pull it to the side and stick the other one. I do it on the sides. But I'm gonna have to push that. I'm gonna have to reach under here and push that valve up. Once you push it up, it'll stay, because especially if you got brand new seals, it should stay up. All right, and I pushed it up. Like I said, I'll push this handle over to the side. See, it dropped right down in there. And I'm gonna, oh, it went too far down in there. Usually when it goes that far down, it makes it harder to get the other one in, but we'll go ahead and try to stick it in anyway. We're just going to rock it back to the side and try to stick it right in that hole. Angle side down. Yeah, I'm not going to let us go in there. So, and that being stuck that far down is what's keeping it. So I'm going to pull that one out of there. Try to put it back up on the ledge. So when I move the handle over to give me more room to put this one in. So I'm going to try to pull that one up and out a little. Might have to get the screwdriver in there. It's hard to do with one hand. But what I can do is I can let the pressure off this and make it come up in there. See? And then as I push down, I can push over to the side. There we go. Now it opened it up. Now, put this one down in there without knocking the other one down inside there. There we go. Now, once you get them about right there, lift up on your tool, and it'll, the retainer, push them in and do the rest. See? Ta-da! Just like that. That's it. That's how you do them. I'm going to do the rest of them. Alright, I put the valve seals in here. Clean this side up. Clean this side up. I got a little bit. I'm going to spray it down with some parts cleaner and wipe it up real good. And, put parts cleaner in these holes for, you know, the washers so they don't spin. And yeah, finished tapping. I got a new tap. Finished tapping out the block, and then put this head on tomorrow. But I have to put this one on, then I'm gonna have to change the seals in the other side with it on the car. Shouldn't be a big deal. And then we can clean the intake up and put it on, and put everything back on there and put the power block on it. Alright, got the transmission back out in the garage again today. Worked on the heads in the house yesterday, as you've seen. I'm probably going to put that together in the house too. Probably take everything inside. I use the cooler as a makeshift table, plus I got that little stand that I can put that on that the output shaft goes through. You saw in my other video. And Austin's cross member came in for a Turbo 350. Now he just needs a converter with the boost and power level he's going to be at. He probably needs about a 3400 stall. Don't want to go too loose and blow through it. So the first thing we're going to do today, finish up thread chasing these bolt holes. Hopefully I don't break another ARP thread chaser. I wasn't using it like you was supposed to. I was using it with a pair of vice grips and just kind of spinning it. I don't know. I don't know. I still don't think it should have broke, but you know, you get in these back cylinders, the tool won't fit back there. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll try to use the tool that goes on the end of it, and I guess just use the vice grip on the ones that the tool's too big for. But yeah, thread chasing time. All right, that head's on. Cleaned it all up. And then I cleaned the block. I thread chased all the threads, and then I cleaned the block surface, and I cleaned the heads up real good. And then I put PTFE on the studs. I stuck them in the hole. If it squeezed any out, I wiped that off. I put them all in, PTFE on the studs. And then after that, I put the gasket on. And then metal gaskets, they can be a pain to get on, but don't force them. You got to lift them up on one side and Gently push down on one side. If you put a real bad bend in it, you ruin your gasket. And these head gaskets are about $90 each. But ooh, I'm shivering, it's cold. And then after I put the gasket on, I put the ARP lubricant on the stud. I made sure I cleaned these holes real good. I put the washer on dry, or I put the head on, and then I put the washer on dry, because you got to make sure you have a dry surface on that washer, on the head, because you don't want the washer to spin. And then I lube the bottom of the nuts, and then I put the nuts on. I hand tighten them. I use this sequence. I went here, then I went out one, did a U, out one, did a U, out one, did a U, all the way out. I hand tightened them, then I did a pass like that with 40 pounds, and then a pass like that with 60 pounds, then a pass like that with 80 pounds. And then after I got done on the 80-pound pass, I went from front to back 80 pounds just to make sure I didn't miss any. I actually missed that one. I don't know how. But I had 80 pounds, man. I don't know about y'all, but that pass wears me out. I'll be over here huffing and puffing by the time I'm done doing that pass and then going through them front and back. But yeah. Hopefully the header will stick back in there with the head on. If not, I'll stick it up through the bottom. I got to get under the car, take the starter off anyway. So next thing on the list to do, we can go ahead and cover this side back up, make sure nothing gets down in there. And then next thing on the list to do, and I should have done this with the head off, but one of these valve seals, and one of them on the other head too, was up in the spring, up inside the spring. I've replaced these. I've messed with these springs about 3 times, and I've reused those seals. And apparently the one, when I did them yesterday inside, that was yet last night, I was doing that, the front part of this video. There's only one of them was off the seat. One valve seal was off up inside the valve. Another one I just pulled off with my hand, but the rest of them were tight. But we'll see how this side is. We'll go ahead and start doing the valve seals on this one, just like I did with that other head inside last night.